Hello, my name is Soul and welcome to the first in-depth review and guide for a Skyrim VR mod. This series is going to entail requested in-depth reviews and guides from my viewers. This request comes from Felipe Santos. This in-depth video is all about Magevr. If there's another mod you want me to cover for this series, let me know in the comments. If this video helped you decide on using this mod or you simply enjoy the input from this video, then please hit the like button and subscribe for more VR and comedic content from moi. Also, hit the bell to stay up to date with all my videos. I also stream on Tuesday and Friday on 3 platforms, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. I also do art streams on Saturdays sometimes. Linktree is in the description. Also, if you like some modding help from me or you just want to join my community, join the Soul Chamber, my Discord server. Now, let's dive into the archives for Magevr. First, I want to speak about what Magevr is. Magevr stands for Muken's Active Gesture Extension for VR, and it has a large amount of features. We'll go down the list and speak on them to the fullest extent. The goal for Magevr is to minimize the usage of menus. In its first iteration, however, it was specifically for mages in terms of spellcasting by using hand-drawn glyphs. Since then, it has expanded largely to make Skyrim VR a true VR-like game. The intent is to make it more immersive by adding plenty of features. This mod adds holsters, glyphs for castings, hand poses, an immersive backpack for looting, immersive lockpicking, gestures, archery, potion drinking, the usage of poisons, usage of poisons, scrolls, recharge of weaponry, ease of using shouts, and the same can be said for powers. There is a lot to cover for this mod, but we'll go through these features shortly, but first, the installation. First, this mod does require SKSE VR, so be sure to install that, which I don't know why you wouldn't have it to begin with, but nonetheless, you need it. To change the settings of the mod, go to the mod file. If you're using Vortex, right-click the mod in the mod section and select Open in File Manager. With Mod Organizer 2, open in Explorer. Now edit the ini to change the buttons and colors if you want a specific one. If you're using VRIK, you'll want what I have or similar to them. Disabling the holsters is the main thing that I use, and the colors of the backpack that you can select are traditional brown, black, green, purple, blue, and red. If you change the angle of the shield in your Skyrim VR ini, it may be best to change them back to the default, but this is subjective. You must select the realistic shield option in-game to use the mod properly, however. If you're left-handed, toggle the option in the ini file to make it left-handed, and this is specifically for the use of the backpack, nothing more. And on screen will be my settings with my particular mod list. And now you can now run SKSE VR and Magevr should be loaded properly. Before going further, however, I want to state some of the features I'm going to cover will not be shown on video, as these features have been disabled for me, as there are mods that will do a better job at executing those specific functions. And I will state where those clips are as the video progresses in the editing phase. Yet I still want to cover them complete depth, as this is a full in-depth review on my take on this mod, as well as my particular settings and as well as my outlook on how this mod should operate. But this is all subjective, so if you dislike it, I apologize, but this is how it's going to be. The first and main reason why I love the idea of this mod is the backpacks and its immersive looting system. Magevr adds a backpack item that must be spawned through the MCM menu, and it can be used normally or using the Magevr holsters or the same function from other mods like the popular VRIK. When equipped, there will be an overlay displaying your inventory and allowing you to browse through it. There are also filters if you want to filter your list simply by pressing the grip over the icons upon the backpack. Dropping an item is simple, just drag the item from the UI of the backpack outside of the backpack and release. To use an item, release it at face level to perform actions such as drinking potions, using scrolls, and applying poisons. For equipping an item, release the object to your own body. To loot a container, whether it's a chest or a carcass, simply equip the backpack in your offhand. Instead of pausing the game, a UI similar to quick loot from SE will appear over the container. Items can be dragged in and out of the backpack. There will be different colors in terms of value per weight of all the items to help you identify the loot you should be getting to sell or keep. The colors are in this order from least to greatest: gray, white, green, blue, purple, and gold. Another immersive feature of Magevr is the immersive lockpicking when attempting to become a sneaky thief you wish to be, or the simple access of a dungeon chest. To activate the immersive lockpicking, the backpack must be active when interacting with a locked container. The lock and a pick will appear in your hand, and locks have tumblers which are based on the difficulty, from 3 to 7. The goal is to insert the pick and push them all in the correct order. The order is random and unique for each lock. To know what tumbler you're underneath is by hearing the clicking sounds. Test each tumbler gently upward and you will hear a squeaking sound and a haptic feedback to indicate if it is the wrong first tumbler or whichever. And the correct one will have a more gentle feedback. And once you push the correct one in, you'll get a sound in your ear holes and to indicate that you have made a good thing. Interacting with the wrong tumblers will damage the pick, yet it can be minimal if you take your time. If your pick breaks, the tumblers will reset, but like the vanilla game, it will remain the same. What makes this even more immersive, however, is that the game is not paused when scrounging about and picking locks, so be careful with those guards, they may spot you. With glyph casting, you can draw certain strokes to create a glyph. To enter the drawing mode, hold the left grip, unless you've changed the any. To draw, use the left or right triggers. When releasing your left grip, both hands will equip the spells that are tied to the glyphs that are drawn. As an alternative, you can hold the right grip to enter a quick cast drawing mode, which will instantly cast the spells you're using and are currently equipped. Weaponry will not change. The glyphs you draw can be slotted. To do this, you equip the spell you want to assign, then draw a glyph while holding either grip, whether it is for the quick cast or the normal equip cast. While still holding the grip, quickly press the opposite grip. This will reassign or assign the spells to both hands. For confirmation, the spells will be cast when releasing the assigning grip button. There are 7 glyphs to assign, yet you can add another modifying glyph on top of the one shown to make another slot. Another form of casting or assigning spells is by posing your hands with your controllers. Also, if you have immersive sounds enabled, it will play a sound when your pose is successful, which will make it easier to identify. You can change the any to have hand posing enabled or disabled, and the same goes for the former. The hand posing slots are similar to the glyphs. To perform a hand pose, hold one of the activation buttons, then proceed to do the pose. This will save the spells equipped. To save a slot, hold the right grip, do your hand pose sequence, then click the left grip while still holding the right grip. Just like the glyphs, to re-equip the assigned spells, do the sequence of hand poses while holding the left grip. Then release after the sequence of hand poses is completed. To do a quick cast, hold the right grip, perform the pose, then release. There are 4 poses that are distinctive, both controllers in a horizontal position, one in the shape of a T, and the other an upside down T, lastly an I shape. You can have 3 hand poses in one sequence, to giving you 84 slots. Now, if you don't like VRIK's holsters, Magevr does have holsters for you. Now, I use VRIKs, and I have them disabled, so I can't exactly show you my Magevrs. Essentially though, you have 6 holsters in total, on 3 for each shoulder. To acquire items, you'll have to trigger them to cycle, or by pressing specific buttons. Magevr also gives you 2 options for archery to increase immersion. Realistic archery, which causes the arrows to unequip every time you fire an arrow, which makes you interact with the quiver to acquire another arrow to be knocked. And this is similar to the mod Simple Realistic Archery, which is what I use, which I believe that mod is inspired by this one. The hardcore option makes you use stamina while using your bow over time, but is it essentially the same as the former. Now for potion drinking, to trigger a potion, you can click the trigger button over your mouth and it shall consume a potion. The left hand is for health potions and foods, and the right hand is for magicka and stamina potions, which will be chosen depending on what's slower, whether you're in combat or not. If you are in combat, it will use the larger potions, and if you're outside of combat, it will use these smaller potions. For poisons, scrolls, and recharging, you have 4 slots in between your wrists, which is accessible by clicking the grip or thumbstick over the opposite hand. Again, these give you access to those poisons, scrolls, and recharging. And recharging only works if you have just loaded your Magevr. To gain access to pre-saved shouts, push your hands down, back, and your head forward, then click one of the 3 buttons on either hand. To access the powers, the motion is to cross your arms and hold one of the 6 buttons for a brief period of time, then continuing to hold the button, uncross your arms, bring your left hand to where the right hand was located, and your right to where the left hand was located. Doing these motions while a power or shout is equipped will unequip the power or shout and assign it to the slot you have activated. And doing it while having no power or shout equipped will activate the selected slot. Now, these are my personal thoughts and uses for Magevr. Now, I do have a few qualms with this mod, but don't get me wrong, this mod is still amazing and it is great for advanced players for VR or just people who have the knowledge to properly use Magevr. It can be extremely complex, especially for new users trying to use the gestures for the shouts, the powers, the scrolls, the recharging, the poisons, the archery, somewhat anyway, and the holsters. The ones that are simple would be the use of potions. And other mods like VRIK, Spellwheel VR, and Simple Realistic Archery, as well as Higgs, can simplify these gestures and usage so much more. And the main focus I would use this mod for is the immersive backpack, the lock picking, and potentially the hand poses, as gestures are kind of hard to come by, especially if you're limited on VRIK if you use a lot of gestures, but luckily I don't. Now, I want to state that immersion is my goal, and the other mods that I've listed can give me easier access and easier use to the previously mentioned aspects of the game, meaning the shouts, the powers, the spells, and so on. I turn everything off for Magevr, but keep the backpack and lockpicking immersion integration, as that is my main goal for when playing Skyrim VR, to be immersed with less complexity. Now, as I said, this is not to bag on the mod. This mod is fantastic to have, and it is really unique still. It has so many features no other mod really has. As I said, the complexity of it just makes it really hard to use and somewhat hard to grasp, especially for new players and for people who don't exactly know or how to use this mod, which is kind of why I made this in-depth review. However, as I said, with my settings, I like to use different types of mods with this kind of mod, which I've stated already: VRIK, Spellwheel VR, Simple Realistic Archery, and Higgs. These make my game much more fun to me and more easier to me. But that immersive lockpicking and backpack looting, it's a must-have. I would like that to be a standalone. Well, that's it for this in-depth guide and review of Magevr. If you have a specific mod, category, or role-playing type of character you want me to cover for your Skyrim VR, let me know in the comments. And be sure to endorse Magevr if you've downloaded the mod to support the creator and encourage them to do more, or to just give them pride. The link for Magevr is in the description as usual, as well as the other mods I've listed in this video, as well as a link tree for my socials and streaming platforms if you want to see me stream. Don't forget to join the Discord to be up to date with my content, or to just chat with me and my fellow souls. If you found this video to be helpful, be sure to like the video. Also, if you're interested in other VR content, as well as my roleplay series, which I post every Sunday morning CST, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of those future videos. And one last thing is to keep your soul free.